Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to The Explainer, the Shadows of Naruto, history, myth, and the Uchiha tragedy. Today, we're peeling back the familiar layers of the Naruto universe. We're stepping away from those bright orange jumpsuits and the flashy jutsu to really dig into the deeply rooted real-world history, the complex mythology, and the absolute tragedy of the Uchiha clan. If you think you already know the true cost of being a shinobi, well, brace yourself.
Because Kakashi once laid out this incredibly chilling reality. The basis of all shinobi arts is to become invisible, eradicate yourself. And think about that for a second. This isn't just some tactical instruction for hiding in the mist. It's literally the fundamental philosophical demand of the entire ninja world. To be a perfect tool, you have to suppress your individuality, your desires, basically your entire humanity. But what happens when the shadows demand absolutely everything from you? When the system you're serving requires you to sacrifice not just your life, but your soul? This is the core conflict of the shinobi world, right here. It's this relentless, grueling struggle between the heart and the blade.
And this brilliantly illustrates how, historically speaking, that conflict makes perfect sense. We always tend to think of the noble samurai, bound by strict Confucian ethics, acting as the moral compass of society under the Bushido code. But the reality of the historical ninja, completely different story. They came from the working class. Their everyday lives were defined by espionage, assassination, and just gritty, pragmatic survival where chivalry simply did not exist. If they could win without a fair fight, they absolutely did, no questions asked.
And the sheer brilliance of this world building is how it seamlessly blends these specific eras of Japanese history. It pulls directly from the Edo period's military dictatorships, a time where lords were just hiring mercenary ninjas to do their dirty work. But then, it simultaneously grapples with the Meiji period's ideological crisis, that massive tension between radical individualism and an absolute duty to society. Throw in these modern untouchable tycoons commanding huge private armies, like Gato, and you've got a world where modern shinobi are effectively trapped in the middle of it all.
So how exactly does this systemic violence manifest? Zooming into the dark destiny of the Uchiha clan.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is, what actually is the dark secret of the Uchiha? Because for a clan that's revered as the absolute elite protectors of the Leaf Village, their history is stained with a shockingly horrific truth about how they actually get their ultimate power.
The Uchiha's history is literally one of unimaginable bloodshed. To awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan, competitive friends were actively pitted against each other to the death. Brother killing brother. We're talking about a society that actively condoned murder just to attain greater strength. It's this cursed, never-ending cycle originating all the way back with Madara, turning actual family members into literal prey.
And the physical manifestation of all that accumulated pain? Visualizing the Susanoo, the ultimate defense and offense. Let's move to and see how this terrifying power actually builds. It starts out with the skeletal or ribcage form, a basic, instantly summonable shockwave shield for quick combat. From there, it evolves into the humanoid, armored form, taking on these samurai-like plates and wielding ethereal weapons like the Totsuka blade. Then we reach the perfect Susanoo, this massive, full-body manifestation that is literally capable of slicing entire mountains apart. And finally, the terrifying apex, the tailed beast enhanced Susanoo, infused with all the tailed beasts and capable of firing Indra's arrow. This is sheer, godlike power, but remember, it's bought entirely with the blood of loved ones.
But amidst all this dark lineage, there was an anomaly. Shisui the Teleporter, the prodigy of peace.
To really understand Shisui, you have to grasp exactly why he was globally feared as Shisui of the Body Flicker. The Shunshin no Jutsu is your standard high-speed movement technique that vitalizes the body with chakra to move at untraceable speeds. But Shisui, he took this basic D-rank supplementary skill and elevated it to an absolute art form. He would completely fade from sight, leaving absolutely no trace or scent behind. The guy was a literal ghost on the battlefield.
So, the crucial point is that his true power actually lay in his eyes, Koto Amatsukami. The name is actually drawn straight from real-world Shinto mythology, referring to the distinguished heavenly gods, literally the very first deities who willed themselves into existence at the dawn of the universe. And fittingly, this unrivaled genjutsu overrides free will itself. It flawlessly hijacks the target's subconscious without them even realizing it's happening. It is, without a doubt, the ultimate tool for a bloodless victory.
And yet, even the ultimate tool for peace couldn't save him. A tragic sacrifice. The climax of the Uchiha.
Let's walk through exactly how this went down. Days prior, as his clan plotted a violent coup, Shisui formulated a noble plan to stop them peacefully using Koto Amatsukami. But on the very night of the tragedy, Danzo ambushed him and stole his right eye, absolutely terrified of his power. Moments later, realizing his peaceful path was ruined, Shisui entrusts his remaining eye and the village's future to his best friend, Itachi. Then, for the final act, to protect the village from any further conflict over his power, Shisui sacrifices his own life, and it was this devastating, selfless act that awakened Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan.
His final words to Itachi are just absolutely heartbreaking. "You're the only one I can count on, my true best friend. Please protect this village and the Uchiha name, both." I mean, he was asking Itachi to do the impossible, to somehow balance the brutal, pragmatic duties of a shinobi with a profound love for his family.
So it all comes down to this. Is the true cost of peace in the shinobi world really worth the blood of its most loyal protectors? When the entire system demands that you completely erase yourself, and peace can only be bought through the devastating sacrifice of those desperately trying to do the right thing, who actually wins here? It makes the history of the Uchiha so much more than just a fictional backstory. Take a moment to really think about that, and we'll see you next time as we continue to break down the complexities of your favorite worlds right here on The Explainer.